Hello, I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about the video library and what you can expect to learn from it, apart from having great fun with me, of course. There are 12 workshops on the Experimental Textiles Video Library and membership. And here are some of the things that you can expect. We'll be working with lots of texture. We'll be using Luchador and Tyvek to raise the surface, as well as working with Bondaweb or Vlisafix or Wonder Under to create lovely shiny effects with foils and gilding flake. We'll be heat gunning Luchador and using it with puff paint to create fascinating surfaces to stitch into. We'll also be working with polyester organzas and Tyvek and stitch more polyester organza and Luchador. This is a little Luchador luminary for a nightlight, which you might like to try. And of course, we can make beads with Luchador and Tyvek. There's a whole workshop on Tyvek and how to texture it, how to shape it, how to colour it, how to foil it. You also might like to think about maybe layering it and machine embroidering into it on the machine. I'll show you how to lower the feed dog, all the information that you will need to create a really fascinating layered stitched piece. And of course, you can then learn control with your heat gun. I work with paper quite a lot and also with the heavier interfacings, the iron-on interfacings. So this is Decaville that's been decorated with paper. This is Decaville decorated with transfer foil. These are some little book covers made from Decaville, which there is a whole workshop devoted to. And there's also a workshop devoted to cuffs and collars. And maybe you have lots of beads lurking around at home. I have tons and tons and bags of vintage beads. And with my ceramics coiling background, I love to coil and create gorgeous textures. Again, working with paper, this is faux chenille. This is a separate little workshop, which is great fun, layering papers of maps, a great way of recycling. And then working with water-soluble fabric, and now you see it, now you don't. And I'll talk to you about how to create little shapes that you can stitch onto your work, how to make little bowls or large bowls, whatever you fancy, with this wash-away stabilizer. I'll also talk to you about putting it through the inkjet printer so that you can do your thread painting, which is always rather beautiful, as long as your stitches all join up together. And working with this particular water-soluble Solufleece, you can also combine it with Bondaweb and then crash it with steam and it all puckers up. This is newspaper that's been puckered. And then of course by beautiful, wonderful Bondaweb, this is some students' work, I think from New Zealand. So this is painted Bondaweb with various sparkles, bits of Tyvek. It's beautiful stuff. And this is one of my pieces, a bit of stitch. And more of mine, this is painted Bondaweb cut with a soldering iron. And more of mine printed with one of my printing blocks and lots of gilding flake. This is some free machine embroidery on a paper background. A lovely vessel created by Morag. And more paper. This is from a new starting point. And this is also from a new starting point. You can stitch into papers, providing you use proper interfacing. So, do you fancy having a play? I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and if you have any questions about the video library, then do drop me an email.